Well, I said I was going to talk about my mental health turning point today, which I'm not going to do because today's Mother's Day, so I decided to do something more motherly. When I was about 14 years old, my mother was in Young Women's as I think a Young Women's advisor. So she would be in class with us sometimes, and she would make comments and help with random things. And one time, we were having a class on motherhood and being a wife, traditional women roles. And she made a comment that I did not understand at the time, but now I do. And she said something to the effect of, when you're a mother, motherhood's not enough. It's important to have hobbies, interests, goals, something more, because, just raising your kids isn't going to be fulfilling enough. And as a 14-year-old girl, I was probably just too emotional, but I took that personally, and I thought, I'm not enough. I'm her child, and she's saying that being my mother isn't enough for her. And so I told her in the car on the way home, I said, something you said in class really offended me, and let me tell you why. And I told her, and she got very upset. She was very hurt. She cried some, and she opened her heart to me and talked about how she had a hard time during her adult life, feeling like she fit in with the church and feeling like she could speak her mind. She felt like people didn't understand her and would judge her for the way that she mothers and the way that she fulfills her roles as a woman. And I instantly repented. I pondered on it for a little bit, and I decided to write her a letter. That was that same day, back when I was 14-ish. And I don't know all the words, and maybe she still has a letter, maybe she doesn't. But I basically told her that I was so grateful for her as a mother, that she was so generous and so kind, so much so that she, nurtured us in the home and took care of people outside of the home. At the time, she worked as a midwife in a clinic where she spoke Spanish, which she didn't know previously. She had to learn it for her job. And she helped people. And she helped us. And she might not have fulfilled the traditional roles. She didn't, have dinner ready on the table at 5 o'clock every day, or maintain a clean household, organized household. She did the best she could, given her talents and limitations, and she applied herself in what she was good at. And her heart was always in it. So, since I've become a mother, I've been a mother for about, a little more than 8 years. I have struggled so much. At one point, I let go of myself completely, and I did not include any of my hobbies in my routine. I didn't allow myself any television. I didn't allow myself to, take breaks, and I just was so hard on myself, and I lost myself in motherhood, and I exhausted myself in motherhood, and I realized that I was forgetting important parts of myself and who I am. I'm a lot like my mom in a lot of ways. I'm very disorganized, and, I didn't really learn how to cook until I was married. And it's been a journey. Cooking is kind of hard for me, but the more I learn, the more I enjoy it. But I as a person am creative. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. And for a few years, I cut those parts out of my daily life because I thought that I needed to be a more disciplined mother, disciplined in myself, not discipline my kids, but discipline in my everyday life, in being on time everywhere and having my kids constantly dressed well and hair done. And these are things that are very hard for me. So as the years went by, I just got more and more tired. And I didn't cultivate the parts of me that came easily because at the time I thought they weren't important. But I've since learned that it's a very important part of motherhood is being able to teach your kids in order and being able to help them through difficult times and to be able to play with them. There have been so many studies on the importance of play, and I for years haven't allowed myself to play because I felt like I needed to be more self-disciplined, which is something I'm not great at. So I've learned that important lesson that she tried to teach me when I was 14. That is that when you're a mother, you need to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And you need to let yourself shine so that you can let others shine and see the good in them. It's important to have hobbies, maybe careers, maybe education, maybe whatever it is that brings you joy, whatever it is that gives you confidence, because when you are truly yourself, you will find the value in yourself and your family will see the value in you. To share another story about my mom and her generosity, one day I was having an extremely difficult mental health day, and nobody could reach me. My husband couldn't help me get better. No one could help me feel better. And I called my mom and I said, I'm really not okay. And she could hear it in my voice. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. She immediately got in the car and drove 8 hours. She said, I'm getting in the car right now. I'll see you in 8 hours. And I will never forget that. As far as triathlon goes, my mother has been extremely supportive. She was the one who drove me to my first triathlon race in Burley. She was the one who cheered for me there, took photos, took videos, encouraged me, stayed with me at the hotel, helped me walk through my emotions. And I do not know what I would have done without her. Honestly, I do not think I could have done it without her, because I am fiercely independent, but I also get overwhelmed. And I wouldn't have known that I needed her, but she knew that I needed her, and she was there for me. So I'm so grateful.